Superkickin with Stephen and Greg fans. Your favorite host right here, Stephen A. 1181, riding solo today. Greg, hurricanes weather is being, ridiculous right now. So it is not a good time over there for him. So he could not make it today. I will give you the best I can on my own, kind of get in and get out. I'll try to make it as long as I can. As you can tell, I sound very stuffed up because they got the usual, hey, the kids are very germy at school right now, and I got that. So that's where we're at today. So let's just get right into news and notes of the week. There's Big Ben, always a good fan. Saw him earlier this week. I was on the Dukes of football, getting roasted for my Indianapolis Colts, but that's okay because they probably deserve it. And yeah, not a good season coming up. But we will talk about this season of wrestling right now. And the first story, of course, for WWE is Lacey Evans is no longer with WWE. Her contract expired. No re-signing, nothing like that. Doesn't really surprise me. Just a lot of ups and downs with her career in WWE. Her NXT stuff I thought was very good. As this Southern Belle, kind of dirty player back in the day. And it I think her first kind of run translated a little bit on the main roster, and then they did the stuff with Baron Corbin, and she got in some matches with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, and then we went into the stuff with Ric Flair, and that's just where it all derailed. She got pregnant, which was probably a good thing because that storyline was going nowhere, and it was a mess and all that stuff. So at least they did not say that Ric Flair was the father and try to play that up. They just kind of let it be. Then they gave some vignettes that showed her talking about her real life, and kind of get behind the scenes of stuff like that. And it just, then she comes out and the crowd boos her. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Big Ben. I think she will succeed outside of WWE and outside of wrestling. So it sounds like she's going to start a restaurant business or cafe business in her hometown of South Carolina, and it's named after her two daughters. She wants to help the community more there, so she's probably got the extra funds to do that, and that's a good thing to do. So go out and do that. I just don't know if wrestling will be on the radar for her anywhere else. And that happens. You try it, see where it goes, and then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So the other big news was Gable Steveson. There was a lot of just kind of negative energy around his match, even some negative reaction. And right now, that is a pretty good comparison, Big Ben. I wonder if she could have succeeded better as a valet and manager type, and do some underhanded tactics as a manager. Sensational Sherry or someone like that, and maybe wrestle here and there. That's actually a really good comparison with her and Sunny. Hopefully, she will not go down the same path as Sunny. She seems to have a better kind of direction in her life, and a lot of family members have gone down that direction, so she does not want to. But Gable Steveson, it's not looking good. Kind of took him a while to even get on the main, or to get in WWE. You wonder if maybe he just might go back and try the Olympics again, and get all the medals he can, and really become that greatest wrestling Olympian of all time. Because right now it's just very quiet. They've not said anything on TV, not even revisited it. You thought maybe with the double count out we would keep it going. Maybe NXT Underground would be an idea for that, or just some sort of no DQ match and let him go at it. But Baron Corbin has not been on TV, and neither has Gable Steveson. So either they're going back to the drawing board, or they're just going to act like that didn't happen, and that's not a good thing when it comes to starting your career out for Gable Steveson. So. I want to see him succeed. The guy's got a good look. We haven't heard much on the mic yet, but it's worked before. Kurt Angle obviously is the best, the only example, and Lesnar type. But I'm very interested. Yeah. Oh, let's see. So let's see what Big Ben. He's not very. He's very good at college wrestling. Yeah. That's what you got to wonder. Is how do you translate? Because he kind of got thrown in. I felt like he had plenty of time behind the scenes. It looked like, but something wasn't connected in the ring. Baron Corbin obviously is a good worker to work with. In the ring, he's solid. It's good on the mic. Was he the greatest of all time? No. Is he even close to that? No. So, but he's that mid card guy that I think is a good stepping stone, and it just wasn't clicking. So you almost got to go back to the drawing board, I think, for Gable Steveson, and that's what it looks like they're doing, just acting like Men in Black, and just saying, "Oh yeah, this never happened." Yes, Chad Gable. That I would love to see him join Afro Academy. I think that could be a really good fit for him. You know, Even if he doesn't need to do a lot, just kind of being backstage with him and learning from Chad Gable and Otis. Otis is an Olympian as well. So he was weightlifting Olympian, but Chad Gable was Olympian and knows how that translates. So uh, I know it's an easy, predictable put together, but I think if you want to try to salvage whatever is there, you might need to go that route. So Big Ben, that is a very good call as well. Um, should have just brought you in as co-host today with all your good comments today. So let's get into some Raw talk. Uh, it is all still about the Judgment Day. Kind of showing that they're still standing tall at the end of the night. Cody Rhodes did defeat Finn Balor, but Judgment Day just takes out everybody. And JD McDonough kind of on the outside. I still think we're going to get JD McDonough and Finn Balor kind of on their own. Not Judgment Day members, but their own tag team, our own kind of tandem. And, maybe Damian Priest goes on his own, and then you keep Rhea and Dom together and just kind of let that play out and, see where that goes. Because right now, JD McDonough makes sense with them, but you just got to wonder, is it all going to work together? So right now, I think, like I said, I would kind of split it, here and there, and let things keep working. So, yeah, definitely Finn and JD versus Sammy and KO probably will happen soon. I think that would be good. We're kind of wondering where KO's at. I think he's dealing with some rib injury, which is never good for a wrestler, since they always talk about the breathing and just getting hit there a lot. So hopefully KO can kind of recover from that soon. Sami Zayn did pick up a good win. How about Piper Niven? Right now, she is back on TV. I kind of, thought this was kind of in the back of my brain, like, oh yeah, Piper Niven just show up and say I'm champion, and that's what she did. It makes me think of Kane and Daniel Bryan type. I'm the tag team champion type. So I think this will be kind of fun to see Piper Niven in this role. Maybe Chelsea Green makes her do all the work and then gets the win, but Piper's okay with it because she's still tag team champion. So I would be okay. I'm really good with how they did this because we could not afford, or you couldn't go through another tag team change. So I think it sucks for Sonya Deville to have the injury she did, but in a way, this is going to be a good blessing in disguise for Piper Niven, and that should be good out for her. Maxine Dupree. I hope they do not go the route of put her with Imperium, but she kind of fits with them if you look at her. Really attractive gal, a force to be reckoned with. Probably could almost play like a Lana character. In very war, general looking outfits. So it makes you wonder. Why are they pairing her? Why are they going so hard with this angle? But we'll have to see where that goes. Chad Gable did pick up a win over Vinci, and then Otis got got the loss against Gunther. So a lot of people would love to see Chad Gable, be that underdog. I think we got to have Gunther break the record though of Honky Tonk Man, and then somebody could beat him. So maybe Gable comes up, a little bit off. Up RKO, yes. Um, that one is, the Big Ben. The timing was that he was coming back anytime soon, and I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen him yet. You wonder, and I was going to bring this up with Drew McIntyre, and Matt Riddle, if the odds get, if somehow Viking Raiders get a third person with them, is that the way to bring in Randy Orton? Because that seemed to make the most sense. If he's not fully, able to go, at least, maybe 80%, you could have him in some, three main matches, maybe some tag team matches so he doesn't have to work as much, or just there back in the swing of things. But obviously they're holding off on him. Yeah, it sounded like he had a back injury, got back surgery maybe. So that's, that's always huge because you land on your back a lot in the ring. So uh, I'm very curious when he comes back. I think the reaction is going to be good. I mean, you think about Edge last night. I mean, Edge and Orton, that probably should have been Edge's last match ever if you wanted to book it in a storybook type way. But and I probably would have done that Mania, but we'll get into SmackDown and what that all kind of means for um, Edge moving forward. So uh, Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle did pick up a huge win over Viking Raiders. That's kind of where we're going with that. Rhea Ripley defeated Indy Hartwell. I kind of like Indy Hartwell stepping up. You probably have Candice LeRae. You're definitely planting the seeds for Raquel and Rhea, and you do wonder if Raquel will be the one to kind of slow down Rhea. But because if Rhea goes over Raquel, you got to keep going. You probably wait till Becky Lynch, gets back. So we also did see Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus in the double count out. It went outside. It went outside the merchandise area, and now we're going to get a steel cage match. And I think ultimately Becky gets better in of Trish there, even if Zoe Stark tries to get involved. So Seth Rollins and Nakamura are going to go at it as well. That should be a really fun, strong match there. A good way for Nakamura to kind of get back into swing of, get some high profile matches. We know what Nakamura can do when he's like, motivated. It feels like so. There's that. And Cody Rhodes did defeat Finn Balor, and not really sure what the next step for Cody is. Very curious to see. We heard maybe rumblings of Bray Wyatt. I'm guessing it'll be somebody. Maybe it might be JD McDonough at Payback. Somebody from Judgment Day to kind of play that up. So yeah, NXT wise, Tony D'Angelo and Stacks keep going ahead. You, the writing's got to be on the wall for the dyad. The two members, the grizzled young veterans, their contract has got to be up soon, or something's got to happen because they're just losing way too much. Just the writing's there. So Blair Davenport picked up a good win. Trick Williams hit the rock bottom and gets a good win over Drew McIntyre. Or sorry, Drew Gulak, not McIntyre. Sorry. If Trick Williams got a win over Drew McIntyre, that would be huge for him. But that did not happen. Wes Lee is our new number one contender. That will be a good match, him and Carmelo, and it gets you a good, look at Wes Lee. Dabo Kato was back in action, defeating or kind of messing around with Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey's match, so he got his kind of look there. And Kiana James defeats Ivy Nile, and JC Jane picks up win over Thea Hill. We got to see where Thea's headed, as far as her, character change is concerned. Very interesting that we're building up a lot of heels, though, as you have Tiffany Stratton as a heel champion. So you think we'd want to build up some faces, maybe give Ivy Nile a win and put her next up, but looks like we're going to go the heel route, against kind of heel versus heel route there. But we got to get into SmackDown because this was all about Edge. Edge defeats Sheamus, and he was straight up. He said it the night before, or there was an interview. This is his last match on the current contract. Now I don't know if the contract's up. Don't know, if there's still appearances scheduled, but that felt like as ending, ending of a career as you could. People are throwing out the idea. Maybe he goes to AW, shows up with Christian, and who's to say we can't get the Dudley Boys involved somehow, and that could be your final, payoff. I think that would be the ultimate storybook indie. The three of them, three tag teams just going at it, are somehow inducted together. Because we already have the Dudley Boys, you already have Edge, a Hall of Famer. You got to think the Hardy Boys are going to go in together, and you got to wonder where Christian all kind of goes. But uh, the family was there, the two daughters, Beth Phoenix. You had the awesome vignette, of playing up Edge, and that, like I said, that feels like a write off of anything. So really cool to see him in the way he wanted to. End on SmackDown, end in Toronto against Sheamus, I believe, who was kind of part of the first time he was out. So really cool to see that kind of come full circle. LA Knight was defeated, or wait, I thought LA Knight won the match. Um, I believe I put that wrong. Let me check. Austin Theory did pick up a win because of the distraction by Miz. But there's no doubt LA Knight U.S. title needs to happen sooner rather than later. So let LA Knight get the best of the Miz, and then we'll go from there. Oscar and Charlotte Flair defeated Bailey and Io Sky. We had Bianca out there. We had Bailey out there. All kinds of, damage control still looks strong. You also had the Street Profits pick up win with a new move set to finish the match against the OC. So we're definitely going to play off the Street Profits. And, Carmella Hayes and Trick Williams with Bobby Lashley is something I've mentioned about. I think that needs to happen sooner rather than later as well. Let's do a couple commercial breaks, get my voice a little bit back, and then we'll get into some AEW news. Probably going to be a short show today. As you can tell, I think I'm running out of steam here with my voice, so need to get a little bit of water in me, get some rogue energy, as they say, and we'll be right back in a couple seconds.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan over at BWSPORTS1.com and Black and White Sports. And I'm wondering if you're ready to buy or sell that home, now's the time, and I got just the person for you. Mr. Sean Nugent, a.k.a. Rockstar Realtor himself. 317-503-8322. Put that home on the market. Get into your dream home with this man. Talk to Sean at Talk to Tucker today, 317-503-8322, and make sure you tell him the boys over at BWSports1.com sent you.
All right, so we did have some AEW news come up, and nobody ever likes to talk about criminal stuff and all that, bad legal things, but unfortunately, Cash Wheeler was arrested Friday morning and charged with one count of aggravated assault with a firearm. Allegedly, he pointed it out, not necessarily a road rage incident. They're saying he was held, kind of released on bond, has to give up all whatever weapons he has if he hasn't already, and doesn't look like it'll affect anything for AEW, which is good. You hear these type of stories, you never know what to expect, and unfortunately, it's not not this like dark cloud over AW, heading into their biggest pay per view, which we'll get into with our next slide. But it is one of those things that had gave you pause for a minute and be like, okay, hopefully passports aren't revoked or travel access is denied. But with FTR and Young Bucks going at it next week, a week from Sunday, so sounds like everything will be okay. No contact with witnesses or the victims involved, which obviously makes sense. And yeah, so hopefully just a little blip in the road for Weor, and can learn and move on from it. But speaking of tickets, now officially with the tickets sold, AEW All In Wembley Stadium can say they are the biggest, or sorry, they're the most ticketed, I guess you could say, event in wrestling history. So this has surpassed um, WrestleMania 32. I think they're getting close to that Ford Field, of WrestleMania 3, which hit 92,000. I don't know if they'll quite hit that. I don't know. The capacity is about 85,000, I think it is, here in Wembley Stadium, but they've already beat up a SummerSlam 92 that was held there, which featured Bret Hart and British Bulldog. And now it's officially ahead of WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, which they said there was 105,000 people there, but I guess the total tickets sold were about closer to 80 some thousand. So really cool. I think it's just gonna be a fun environment that whole day. 1 o'clock start time here in the States, which is nice. Or at least here in Indiana, just with the London time. So it'd be kind of cool to have wrestling on a Sunday afternoon and be done with the evening. But I'm really looking forward to it. You got some good matchups. You have, just the environment's going to be awesome. I'm going to be curious to see what the set looks like. Entrance ramp. I think it's just going to be a spectacle all around. So some AW talk. Last week, the Acclaim beat the Iron Savages. Um, I believe they're Ring of Honor, but the Acclaim keep picking up, just tag team wins. I believe they hit the Famouser in honor of Billy Gunn, so it's kind of cool to see there. Diamante and Mercedes Martinez picked up a win. And I believe we're going to get Diamante and Will Nightingale tonight, kind of play up that feud. And we'll see if Mercedes can overcome Chris Statlander as far as that time is concerned. The TBS championship. Jade Cargill put it on a whole new level, but Chris Statlander getting it. I was so happy to see her get that, finally looking like things are in the right direction for her. Samoa Joe defeated Serpentico versus via submission. He keeps calling out. Samoa Joe beat Andre Everett. That was from last week. Sorry about that. Luchasaurus already picked up a win. We're going to get Luchasaurus and Darby Allin tonight. I'm very curious what we're doing with Samoa Joe and CM Punk. Are we going to just go all out for that at All In? Or are you going to wait for a week later at All Out? Because you also wonder, could MJF retain? And then MJF calls out CM Punk and wants to beat him in his own city. And then we have a legit one unified world champion, or do we just kind of keep both titles separate, almost like a brand split, de facto brand split, and kind of let that be? But I want to see Samoa Joe and CM Punk go at it in the biggest, attended event ever. I think that would be huge for them. What a moment for them to really think about stuff. CM Punk was part of the losing trios team with House of Black, just getting a huge win, and House of Black just continues to roll. Don't You just got to see what's next for them as they continue to roll. Some of the things from we are going to get a Stadium Stampede match. So we're going to have the Best Friends and Penta, Ray Phoenix, and I believe Bandito going at it. And right now, you have 3 members from the Blackpool Combat Club, so we got to figure out who will be the other 3 members there. Orange Cassidy, man, it's hard to argue. Who's had a better year than Orange Cassidy? So many title defenses, winning in so many different ways, just showing up, showing out. and it's Orange Cassidy. He's just a different cat when it comes to the ring. But, Chris Jericho originally said yes, and then we almost got the Jericho KO moment. Where Kevin Owens gave Chris Jericho the list and had his name on it. This one had Don Callis holding Chris Jericho's head. He gets attacked by Takeshita, which I would have loved to do Takeshita and Kenny Omega, but Omega will be involved elsewhere. So we're going to get Will Ospreay in the mix, and we're going to get Will Ospreay and Chris Jericho going at it. And you know what? That's awesome for Ospreay to be able to, I think the Wembley is like, close to his hometown. He'll get to really, the crowd is going to be all on his side, being an English-born and bred wrestler. So that'll be really cool to see that. Darby Allin and Nick Wayne picked up a huge win. Darby Allin and Sting will be part of the coffin match with AR Fox and Swerve Strickland. We'll see which direction that goes. Then there was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match. This was blood involved. Leatherface was involved. Tables were involved. Parties were involved. Sanjay Dutt was involved. Jay Lethal was involved. Karen Jarrett got blood soaked on her. And it all was Jeff Jarrett winning the title. So there you go. And Britt Baker and the Bunny had a really good match at the end of the night. Britt Baker picks up the win. No really surprise there. Few straight weeks of the women main event on Dynamite as well. So cool to see that as well. Next up, we had, Rampage last night, which is Fight for the Fallen. Ray Phoenix picks up a huge win there, get his momentum going. Aussie Open picks up win. Samuel Guevara picks up win. And Sheeta and Sky Blue pick up a win, but get taken out ultimately. And kind of, all the women involved in that fatal four-way match got involved in this as well. Like I said, sorry, it's a little bit short today. I thought I could carry the show today. Not running on the full strength. My flu game is not as strong as Michael Jordan's, so we'll probably call it a day here. Darby Allin and Luchasaurus go at it, and we'll kind of see which direction that goes. Samoa Joe will be there. You also have, Will Nightingale by Nelly DeMonte. And so we'll see what tonight brings for a collision. But that's kind of all I got today. Last call is, enjoy the weekend. I think next weekend, though, Sunday, August 26th is going to be huge because that's going to be the biggest AW or 27th, I guess it'd be biggest AW show ever. And, really cool moment to think, I bet Cody Rhodes just so happy for them on that end and re-signed the Young Bucks. You re-signed Hangman Page. You re-signed Kenny Omega. You keep that foundation there. And, AEW just forging ahead with their own path. And, like they said, they tried all in years ago with 10,000 as a goal, and now they're hitting 80,000 at Wembley Stadium. I mean, who would have thunk it? So the sky's the limit as far as where they could go next. So maybe they do go. You go to the moon. Who wants to be the first wrestling match on the moon? So other than that, thank you for watching. Keep following the Super Kickin' with Steven fan page, Super Kickin' with Steven and Greg Facebook page. Giving you Monday, Beyond the Mat Monday. We're going for Tuesday, Table Talk Tuesday. We got Women Crunch Wednesday. We have Turnbuckle the Clock Thursday and Fan Favorite Friday. And just good stuff happened in there. So keep following, keep liking us. Go catch the Dukes of Football Wednesday night at 8. I think Checkers and Wreckers have another interview with a race car driver coming up. So we got a lot of cool stuff here on BW Sports 1. And just, keep showing the love and keep kicking things. So thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Dan.